With the WINN FM News, I am Kevin Brown.
And I am Yulana Weeks.
Our top stories.
Robust marketing efforts continue to boost St. Kitts' tourism product.
Caribbean leaders forge a sustainable path for investment migration at CIS 25. St. Kitts Nevis receives 2 awards at 7th Annual Caribbean Investment Summit. St. Kitts and Nevis unveils a comprehensive framework for medicinal cannabis industry. Guyanese authorities finds Adriana Young died by drowning. St. Lucia's UWP deputy leader under fire for criticism of period poverty initiative. Internationally, Israel releases Gaza paramedic who survived deadly attack on health workers. Now, the details.
St. Kitts has reaped the rewards of a robust Venture Deeper campaign to grow and enhance the destination. Statistics show a significant increase in the 2025 first quarter arrivals when compared to the same of 2024 and to pre-pandemic levels. The Minister of Tourism, Marsha Henderson, shared the performance of the first quarter during a Ministry of Tourism press conference on April 29. St. Kitts welcomed 46,641 air arrivals at the end of the first quarter of 2025, compared to 40,476 in 2024, a 15% increase. The 2025 first quarter figures also slightly surpassed the 2019 air arrival numbers of 46,616. The peak season, November 2024 to March 2025, also served as an indicator that St. Kitts' tourism product had been strong and resilient.
From November 2024 to March 31st, 2025, our peak season saw 78,077 arrivals, a strong increase compared to 68,170 arrivals during the 2023-2024 season. This also surpasses 77,000 arrivals recorded in the 2018-2019 peak season, reflecting impressive growth in visitor numbers. This growth is a clear indicator of the resilience of our tourism products and the strength of the partnerships in the industry.
It is through tourism forums like Roots Americas that the St. Kitts tourism officials discussed medium to long-term plans for new routes and expansion of existing routes. The marketing plans and discussions proved fruitful, with airline partners expressing contentment with passenger travel to destination St. Kitts.
Our airline partners have also expressed their satisfaction, reporting average load factors of over 70%, indicating that St. Kitts is not only on the radar, but is a preferred choice.
St. Kitts, home to the Park Hyatt, the St. Kitts Marriott Resort and the Royal Beach Casino, has seen acceptable occupancy numbers as the country continues to provide world-class accommodations to visitors.
Complementing this growth, hotel performance has shown impressive resilience and improvements, with hotels reporting average occupancy levels over 70% as well.
The momentum in the hospitality sector is expected to continue throughout the year as the highly anticipated St. Kitts Music Festival gets underway from June 26 to 28 at Warner Park. The Caribbean Premier League and other international cricket matches kick off in the latter part of the summer, and the exciting Sugar Mass 53 in December 2025 into the new year. The increased travel numbers highlight the strength of tourism marketing efforts. The showcasing of Destination St. Kitts at key hubs or major cities in the United States and England has kept the destination in the hearts and minds of travelers. St. Kitts continues to be featured on digital billboards in various major cities in the United States, as well as on 70 branded buses and in train stations across the United Kingdom. Additionally, appearances on NBC and travel and adventure shows helped amplify marketing efforts.
The 2025 Caribbean Investment Summit, CIS 25, provided a pivotal platform for regional leaders to discuss the evolving landscape of investment migration with a focus on sustainability and economic diversification. The highlight of the summit was the Regional Leaders Forum, expertly moderated by Nuri Katz, founder and president of Apex Capital Partners, which convened key Caribbean policymakers to chart the future of Citizenship by Investment (CBI) programs and their role in regional development. The distinguished panel featured an assembly of political figures, including Prime Ministers the Honorable Gaston Brown of Antigua and Barbuda, the Right Honorable Dickon Mitchell of Grenada, the Right Honorable Philip J. Peer of St. Lucia, the Right Honorable Roosevelt Skerritt of Dominica, and the Honorable Garth Wilkin, Attorney General and Minister of Justice and Legal Affairs of St. Kitts and Nevis, who represented the Prime Minister, the Honorable Dr. Terence Drew. The forum addressed critical issues facing the CBI sector, highlighting the challenges posed by the international scrutiny alongside the significant opportunities for regional collaboration. Discussions highlighted the need to enhance program transparency, align CBI initiatives with broader national development objectives, and employ diversified investment strategies to strengthen economic resilience. Central to the dialogue was the consensus that unifying regional efforts is essential to safeguarding the integrity and longevity of investment migration as a catalyst for sustainable economic growth. The Attorney General and Minister of Justice and Legal Affairs of St. Kitts and Nevis, the Honorable Garth Wilkin, provided an in-depth perspective on the Federation's historically significant and dynamic engagement with citizenship by investment. He reflected on the inception and evolution of St. Kitts and Nevis' CBI program, emphasizing its economic importance and recent transformative initiatives.
Leading up to an election in the early 80s, the opposition then said once they got into office, they would eliminate income tax. They got into office and they eliminated income tax. We shortly thereafter became an independent nation. And less than 6 months after that, our Citizenship by Investment program was birthed in 1984. We no longer had income tax revenue. So the program was envisioned to create an extra stream of revenue. Fast forward 40 years, approximately 38 years, into 2022, CBI revenue became 60% of our government's revenue, $600 million. On average, over the last 15 years, CBI revenue has been approximately 48% of our revenue. So it has been the driving force for our economy for the past 15 years, since about 2008, 2009. We're very dependent on it.
Concerning the industry's volatility, the current administration has begun a path toward reducing dependency on the CBI and toward a more sustainable agenda.
So we set out on a journey to find a plan to diversify our economy. We developed our Sustainable Island State agenda, and what we decided to do is to fund that agenda, that diversification strategy, with CBI funds. Now, what CBI funds do in St. Kitts and Nevis is that they subsidize the cost of living. For example, the state subsidizes cooking gas, vehicle gas, electricity. We have a program called STEP, where persons who are unemployed are paid by the state to then work in the private sector. We have a program called LIFT, where persons who make under a certain income can receive $500 monetary support. So we spend approximately $250,000 to $300,000 a year in subsidizing the cost of living, as well as supporting social programs. So in essence, we use our money, our CBI revenue goes directly to the people. It creates an environment where persons can afford to live, especially the post-COVID situation. So what we have decided to do as a government is to funnel the CBI funds into diversification, and also to create CBI programs that will allow us to expand and also diversify our economy.
The government, according to the Attorney General, is also focusing on using the funds to fund other developmental projects in St. Kitts and Nevis, including a new airport, a creative arts center, the new Bastia High School, and with the help of the International Monetary Fund, the Federation will establish a sovereign wealth fund where some of the CBI revenue can be used in the future. Regarding the program's future, Attorney General Wilkins stated that the Federation is transitioning to a more sustainable CBI program.
I have a personal view. I don't think CBI dies, whatever our international partners do, because we've had a program for 41 years. It will change, it will morph, and because of the political will of the gentleman you see in here, the brave political will, we are now in a new era of CBI. We are in a regulated, legal, mature state of CBI, because as you can tell from what all of us have said on this panel, CBI is important for our future development. And as leaders and as mature leaders, as the gentlemen here are, need to make very hard decisions, tough decisions, not just for tomorrow, but for the sustainability and long-term development of the countries. And I think that we have done that, and we're on a good path forward. And I think that from now on, probably started about 2 years ago, that path is now leading to a place where the persons in this room who are the stakeholders will also benefit, as well as the people of our tiny countries.
CIS 25 and its Regional Leadership Forum have thus set an important precedent for ongoing dialogue and strategic coordination among Caribbean governments, emphasizing the crucial role of collaborative governance and sustainable innovation in advancing investment migration policies. With leadership committed to balanced growth and regional integration, Caribbean nations are well positioned to leverage citizenship by investment programs as powerful tools for a resilient economic future. The Citizenship by Investment Unit CIU of St. Kitts and Nevis was recently honored with 2 prestigious awards at the 7th Annual Caribbean Investment Summit CIS 2025. Held in Antigua and Barbuda from April 22nd to 26th, the summit saw the unit receive the Efficiency in Processing Time Award and the Heritage Excellence Award, affirming its long-standing influence and leadership within the global investment migration sector. The recognition comes amid the unit's focused efforts to enhance processing efficiency, customer service, and drive forward digital transformation. Since becoming a statutory body, the CIU has undergone a significant transformation under the guidance of His Excellency Executive Chairman Calvin St. Just, who has overseen crucial operational transitions and strategic reforms targeted at modernizing internal processes and improving service delivery for investors. In his acceptance remarks, St. Just expressed gratitude and highlighted the unit's pioneering role.
Well, first off, thank you. Well, first I should say thank you, Sashi and the team, for a splendid summit. I think it takes a lot of work, and I'm sure you're not the only one behind of all of this. But most importantly, I extend thank you to everyone who participated here. St. Kitts and Nevis, as indicated, we started this industry many moons ago, and along the way, we've gathered a number of friends who've actually followed in that path, that footstep. So I want to just simply say thank you again. Thanks to everyone as we continue to reform and continue to innovate this investment migration industry. Thank you.
On accepting the Efficiency in Processing Time Award, St. Just said,
Well, I'll keep it short and sweet. As they say, Sugar City is sweet.
Hallelujah.
So on behalf of the CIU, the Board of Governors and the executive team, and the staff in the CIU unit who relentlessly work continuously to make sure efficiency is key. We wanted to say thank you, and we appreciate this award.
St. Just further explained that the awards reflect a collective vision and tireless execution from a passionate team dedicated to positioning St. Kitts and Nevis as the premier standard in investment migration. He noted that the Federation's progress in digital transformation, customer service, and the stringent due diligence speaks volumes about what the nation can achieve together, and St. Kitts and Nevis is seeing the proof of this dedication in the increase of applications that the country is currently experiencing. The Efficiency in Processing Time Award recognizes the transformative impact of Saturn, the unit's state-of-the-art digital platform. Saturn has revolutionized the application process by making St. Kitts and Nevis the only citizenship by investment jurisdiction to offer live tracking of applications. This feature offers unmatched transparency and real-time updates to both applicants and stakeholders. The platform marks a significant digital advancement, enabling the CIU to respond more quickly to the global investment market, uphold the highest international standards, and solidify St. Kitts and Nevis's reputation as a forward-thinking and innovation-driven nation. The Heritage Excellence Award celebrates St. Kitts and Nevis's enduring reputation as the pioneer of the investment migration industry. The Federation first introduced the concept of citizenship by investment and has since been widely adopted globally, driving the sector forward. St. Kitts and Nevis has continually set the standard for its peers by upholding innovation, integrity, and the best practices that have shaped the industry's evolution worldwide. Other notable award recipients at the Caribbean Investment Summit included Antigua and Barbuda's Citizenship by Investment Unit, which garnered 3 major honors: the Family Inclusivity Excellence Award, the Global Reputation Award, and the coveted Program of the Year. Dominica was recognized with the Climate Resilience Leadership Excellence Award and the Sustainable Development Impact Award, while Grenada took home accolades for Strategic International Access Excellence and Innovation Excellence. St. Lucia received awards for lifestyle and quality of life as well as economic development integration. St. Lucia is set to host next year's Caribbean Investment Summit, CIS 26. The just-launched Medicinal Cannabis Authority held its official inauguration and opening of new offices in Bastia on April 25, 2025, marking a pivotal moment in the Federation's approach to medicinal cannabis regulation and access. Chairperson of the authority, Jehan Williams-Knight, provided a detailed outline of the operational framework aimed at establishing a transparent, safe, and effective medicinal cannabis industry in the country. Addressing the gathering, Williams-Knight emphasized the importance of transparency in building public trust.
Allow me a moment to walk you through the process of how a medicinal cannabis industry is going to work in St. Kitts and Nevis, because we believe transparency is key in public confidence.
She detailed the patient journey, beginning with consultation.
On the front end, a patient who believes that they may benefit from medicinal cannabis will first consult with a medical practitioner. Should that doctor confirm or determine that cannabis is an appropriate treatment, the patient will be issued a medical cannabis ID card.
The identification card will enable authorized individuals to access cannabis products legally at licensed dispensaries and lounges, which are designed to offer professional environments for safe cannabis consumption and education. Williams-Knight highlighted the critical role of these licensed dispensaries.
Those licensed dispensers are responsible for ensuring that the products are stored, labeled, and distributed properly. They are the link between the regulated product and the patient who depends on it.
Patients visiting these outlets will receive guidance from trained staff on dosage, product formats, including oils, tinctures, edibles, and dried flower, and usage recommendations tailored to their medical needs. On the production side, stringent standards will govern cannabis cultivation to guarantee medicinal-grade quality.
Now, on the back end, licensed cultivators will be held to high standards. They must produce cannabis that is clean, consistent, and of a grade required for medicinal use. That means no shortcuts, no harmful chemicals and pesticides, and no guesswork. Only well-regulated production under the strict oversight of the authority.
This assurance aims to safeguard patients by strictly controlling the quality of cannabis brought to the market. The supply chain security is further reinforced through the role of cannabis transporters who will
ensuring that the product gets from point A to point B discreetly and securely, maintaining the integrity of the supply chain every step of the way.
Such measures establish robust safeguards for cultivation to patient consumption. An essential component of the authority's regulatory regime includes rigorous product testing. A commitment to quality is reflected in plans to support certified and monitored testing facilities, ensuring that cannabis products are
free from contaminants and properly labeled with cannabinoid content and usage instructions.
Notably, Williams-Knight mentioned opportunities for private sector involvement.
There is also scope for private entity investment to operate a licensed private testing facility.
Beyond commercial regulation, the authority embraces research as a key pillar for innovation and advancement.
We are also open to licensing researchers who wish to study cannabis more deeply, especially if there are strains that are indigenous to St. Kitts and Nevis.
This opens the door for scientific inquiry into cannabinoid effects on specific diseases as well as cultivation and product development innovations, positioning the Federation at the forefront of the emerging medicinal cannabis landscape. The launch of the Medicinal Cannabis Authority and the comprehensive framework it promotes signals a transformative step for St. Kitts and Nevis, aiming to blend public health considerations with economic growth, social justice, and community empowerment within a fully regulated and transparent industry. As the authority moves forward, the foundation laid by Williams-Knight's clear and thorough explanation provides a crucial roadmap for stakeholders and patients alike, ensuring responsible access and use of medicinal cannabis throughout the Federation. In regional news, Guyanese authorities finds Adriana Young died by drowning, news source Guyana reports.
A detailed forensic autopsy carried out on the body of 11-year-old Adriana Young has found that a child died by drowning, family members were told. The autopsy went on for more than 4 hours and was conducted by 3 foreign pathologists with a local medical team and the police observing. On the completion of the autopsy, the family was briefed by the visiting pathologist as the police clashed with protesters on the outside of the Georgetown Hospital, repeatedly firing shots to disperse the large crowd. After the briefing of the family members, Adriana's father, Sir Brian Young, told reporters that the family is not satisfied with the results.
She's drunk. The session drunk and there's no results for me. For me, there's no results. Once I tell me that I'm drunk, there's no results. So the people that are watching, no results.
Attorney for the family, Darren Wade, explained that the family was informed that the post-mortem examination did not find any marks of violence on the child's body and also did not find any broken limbs. He said the family was informed by the doctors that their findings were consistent with a drowning.
Based upon them, based on what they said, they examined the body. There were no marks of violence on the external part of the body. There were no broken limb. The skull wasn't cracked or anything of the sort. Dr. McLaughlin, the family doctor, said, yes, Caleb, that this is what transpired. They did not determine any infliction of any wounds or anything of the sort. So I want to be clear, this is not from Darren Wade. I'm only reporting from the doctors and all. Well, the 4 doctors.
It was an agonizing day for the family on the West Demerara. The family escorted their young daughter's body from the funeral home. The first stop was the Balwan Singh Hospital, where a forensic CT scan and an X-ray of the body were done. The body was then moved to the Georgetown Hospital's mortuary for the post-mortem examination. The family's doctor, Dr. Caleb McLaughlin, explained to reporters that the autopsy would have been very detailed and could take hours.
In a normal post-mortem examination, you just see, depending on the person has a head trauma, you might just see them checking the skull, opening the skull, or just opening the chest cavity. In this case, it will be more in depth, as in there might be more cuts on her hands, more cuts about the body, more than usual. So it will be a bit more for persons who can't stomach stuff a bit more, in depth.
As the hours went by, crowds gathered outside the hospital demanding justice for the family, as questions continued to be raised about the young girl's death at the pool of the Doubleday Hotel at Tushin on the east bank of Essequibo. In an effort to disperse the large crowd outside the hospital, the riot squad of the Guyana Police Force was called in to restore order. That decision appeared to incense the crowd, with some of them lobbying various objects at the police, who had opened fire to disperse the crowd. The police kept guard outside the hospital until the forensic specialists wrapped up their briefing with the family and left. Even with the results of the post-mortem examination being made available to the family, there are still several lingering questions surrounding the death of Adriana Young.
St. Lucia's UWP deputy leader under fire for criticism of period poverty initiative. DBS St. Lucia has that story.
Where mothers cannot buy pads for their daughters. It tells me that my country has sunk below the line.
That was Deputy Leader of the United Workers' Party, Guy Joseph, speaking at the UWP Sunday Live event. Joseph launched a brutal and raw criticism of the government's initiative to reduce period poverty. In his policy statement, Prime Minister Philippe J. announced that come September, the Ministry of Education will be given an annual allowance of $250,000 for the purchase of feminine hygiene products for secondary schools and primary schools. Joseph, however, criticized the PA administration for creating an economic situation that has led to period poverty.
Now I want to ask the mothers who are listening to me tonight, if your daughter's period comes on the weekend, will you go and knock on the school door and ask the security to open there for you so you can get some pads? I ain't polishing no language. I ain't calling no sanitary napkin. I know better. Philippe J. You should be ashamed as Prime Minister of this country that we have sung so low that you know mothers cannot buy pads for their daughters.
Joseph's statements were condemned by several cabinet ministers who spoke at Monday's pre-cabinet briefing. Equity Minister Joachim Henry suggested an ignorance on the part of the UWP deputy leader about the plight of adolescent girls.
We strongly rebuke at the criticism level at the initiative. Also, I need to highlight that the issue of poverty is not just a matter for young ladies or mothers or aunts or for female teachers. It is for fathers, uncles, it is for men as well. For the fathers who are single fathers with daughters, they have to address the issue, and that is to help bring about the confidence of our young ladies, to stand with them. You would have to address your daughter, if you have a daughter, as to how to deal with issues like this, because you are the father, you are the uncle, you are the brother. So I really do not want to say a lot, because I think St. Lucians generally would understand that this thing needs to be rebuked. But of course, to enlighten our public that the issue of period poverty is not something coined by St. Lucians. It is a discussion going on for the longest while.
Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Pauline Antoine Prospect, called Joseph's statements irresponsible and insensitive, particularly this comment rebuking the Education Minister, Sean Edward.
Now, Sean, I'm asking you this question. As a man, it's not a lady that's the Minister of Education. Will the schools have to report to you so you can know how many young women in the school got their periods during the time that they were in school?
Any person who is making a statement in the 21st century, in a technological era, has to be more responsible, has to be more aware of what is happening at the school. So sometimes you wonder whether people even understand what young women go through. And the person in particular has no daughters, and I empathize with him to make a statement like this. I think we have to think further, make more responsible statements. What the government has, what the Prime Minister has done, is a small investment that will make a world of difference in the educational experience of our young girls.
Period poverty refers to the lack of access to menstrual products, hygiene facilities, waste management, and education. UN Women estimates that globally some 500 million women and girls lack access to essential menstrual products. Some places around the globe that provide free menstrual products include Scotland, New Zealand, some states in the US, South Korea, and Botswana. In July 2023, the government of St. Lucia removed VAT on sanitary napkins and other hygiene-related products. For the DBS News World, Zane Romulus reported.
We now bring you these international reports.
With tears and emotions, Asad al-Nasasra was welcomed back to Gaza after weeks of detention in an Israeli prison. His return marked a moment of relief in a war that has taken a brutal toll on humanitarian workers. Nasasra, a paramedic with the Palestinian Red Crescent Society, was one of just 2 survivors of an Israeli attack on March 23 in Rafah. 17 aid workers, including 8 PRCS staff, 6 civil defense responders, and a UN worker, were targeted while on duty. All were unarmed, 15 were killed. For weeks, Nasasra's fate was unknown till the International Committee of the Red Cross confirmed he was alive and held in Israeli detention. He was released among 10 Palestinian detainees handed over at the crossing between Gaza and Israel. This man was among the detainees released alongside him.
I was detained in various Israeli detention centers for almost 5 months. The conditions are far beyond dire. I was not sentenced as no charges were ever brought against me. Conditions behind Israeli bars are really difficult. I had no idea what had become of my family or my children. The same applies to all other Palestinian detainees.
Israel has denied any wrongdoing in the March 23rd strike, claiming the aid convoy was suspected of carrying Hamas operatives without providing any evidence. Israel also claimed the ambulances did not have their lights on, a statement that was proven to be false when a mobile video from a dying paramedic emerged, showing the clearly marked vehicles with their emergency lights on. The incident sparked international outrage. Asad al-Nasasra now joins a growing list of Gaza aid workers who have endured trauma not only on the front lines but also in Israeli prisons. Ali Hashim, Al Jazeera.
There are units all over Ukraine, the same nightly routine of tracking and downing Russian drones. Each one stopped, a life saved. Each one missed could mean a life lost.
This is not a Ukrainian system, it's a Russian system, which we honestly stole from a tank. It was actually a tank machine gun. It works quite well.
On the front lines, retrofits like this are now common. A Soviet-era machine gun pulled off a Russian tank, repurposed to fight drones in the skies over Sumy. 20th century tech to fight a 21st century drone war. Resourceful but not enough to reclaim control of Ukraine's skies. Claims of shooting down cruise missiles with this setup, the commander says, are wishful thinking. Ukrainians say what they need more of are U.S.-made Patriot missile defense systems, capable of targeting ballistic and cruise missiles. Earlier this year, President Volodymyr Zelensky said Ukraine was building its own version. But the quickest fix is buying more from the Americans.
We will try to achieve the corresponding agreement also from the United States of America. Agreements on Patriots for Ukraine. We are ready to buy the required number of Patriot systems for our country. It's not about charity.
Last week's missile strikes revealed major gaps in Ukraine's defense network, and Russia seems to be steering its missiles through those gaps. The devastation in cities across the country speaks for itself. To save lives, Ukrainians say it needs more air defense now. And just as it is using Russian guns to shoot down Russian drones, one opposition MP says Russian money can help shoot down Russian missiles. More than $200 billion in Russian assets are frozen in European banks. Using seized money to buy American weapons, he says, would be a win-win situation.
I remember the first term of President Trump, and I also heard a lot that he is too close to Putin and all this stuff. But at the same time, he was the first American president to give to Ukraine lethal weapons. It was javelins. So he was tough. And the problem is that for the moment, I don't see him being tough right now.
Spending Russian money on weapons for Ukraine would almost certainly provoke a backlash from Moscow. And with Donald Trump's apparent alignment with Russian interests, future U.S. support, especially Patriot missiles, remains unclear. So far, his White House has avoided giving a straight answer. From the first day of the invasion, Ukraine's inability to secure control of its own airspace has placed it at a strategic disadvantage. If peace talks collapse, as many expect, Ukraine's leaders are betting on better weapons to turn the tide of this war. Zain Basravi, Al Jazeera, Kyiv.
You were listening to the WINN FM 98.9 newscast. Our top stories were:
robust marketing efforts continue to boost St. Kitts tourism product.
Caribbean leaders forge a sustainable path for investment migration at CIS 25. St. Kitts Nevis receives 2 awards at 7th Annual Caribbean Investment Summit. St. Kitts and Nevis unveils a comprehensive framework for medicinal cannabis industry. Guyanese authorities finds Adriana Young died by drowning. St. Lucia's UWP deputy leader under fire for criticism of period poverty initiative. Internationally, Israel releases Gaza paramedic who survived a deadly attack on health workers. Thank you for listening.